This is PT Pop here. All 4 lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back. And today I'm going to talk about people's reactions to me when I tell them I can't work in the call center again. I know I've been making a lot of videos on YouTube here where I make fun of working in a call center and I make all of you laugh, and I genuinely am happy that I make you laugh, and I'm genuinely happy to hear from all of you from all over the world that we've all shared the same experience working in a call center. So those of you that have watched my videos and those of you who have worked in call centers know what a horrific, horrible job this is. And you share my grief and you share my pain, and we all share this common thing of torment working in the call centers. And the problem I have now is that right now I'm still technically unemployed here in Cleveland. I've been back in Cleveland for 5 years. I've worked at a couple different call centers, but I resigned from them. And they were awful. They were just god-awful. And I've got, we'll say family, friends will say to me, why don't you just go get a job? Just go back to work in a call center. You can do it. It can't be that bad. You know, don't let the bastards get you down, they'll say to me. I'm like, well, you don't understand what it's like to work in these call centers. And they're mentally, it's absolute torture. And the people that I know that have never even set foot in one have absolutely no idea what it's like. And a friend of mine said, well, you know, I did this and this and this for a living, and I didn't like doing it either, but I still had to do it. I said, you don't understand. It's not that I just don't like it. No, I don't like going to work in the corporate world, but working in a call center is a totally different ballgame. And the people who have never done it don't comprehend. They have no way of understanding that it's the equivalent of having somebody hog-tie you and tell you to climb a mountain. And you've got to somehow shimmy up this face of a cliff on your belly and get to the top. And once you're at the top, they push you back to the bottom and say, do it again. And it's over and over and over again. So, working in a call center, for those of you that watch me that don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know about all jobs in the world, but I can tell you I've had, like, between all of my videos, I've had about 40,000 views. I've talked to people from all over the world. I've talked to people from the Philippines, from Ireland, from Australia, all over the place. And every single person has the same story. It's a horrible job. They didn't last. It didn't last. And there are the select few who do survive at these jobs. So there are the few people who do survive these jobs. And I don't know how they do it. I know some people seem to have friends already there, because I know they got friends, because when they come into training, when I'm sitting in the training room, somebody who's already employed there will walk in the training room and talk to somebody next to me and go, oh, Sally, so glad you got hired. You're going to do great here. We're going to work together and get you up to speed in the phones, you know. So they already have an in. I've never had an in before. Or, like, for instance, when I was at Wells Fargo, I took inbound calls for people who were interested in signing up for a home equity line or a home equity loan of credit that they put against their mortgage on their house. And in order for me to get commission, I had to push the loans, because the loans funded right away and the bank started making money off of them right away. And the only way to get the loans to fund was to get them through the pipeline. Now, the pipeline, after I took the application for the loan, it went to the processing department. And the processing department had to verify all the identification and the income and verify their credit and all those things. And once that was all done, they'd have to go in, the customer would have to go into the branch and sign docs, lending docs. The only catch is we had a call center of about 200 people, and all of us were taking the same calls. And in order for your loan to get processed, it had to process within a certain amount of time in order to get paid on it. And if you wanted to get paid in that quarter, everything would have to fund and fit into that pipeline and fund within a certain amount of time, so you got paid in that quarter, that business quarter. So it seemed like it was almost impossible, because some of these people would back out on loans, some of them would want to go for a different amount, they'd lower the amount. I think I only got paid for loans that funded for $10,000 and above, stuff like that. So there was this young lady in our department. She was a really cute, young, blonde girl with a nice body, and I mentioned this not to be sexist, but she always was the leading salesperson, month after month, quarter after quarter. She always came in first place. Now, technically speaking, statistically speaking, it is technically and statistically almost impossible in this environment to be the lead sales rep and always come in number one with the most sales, because it's almost impossible. You're not creating your own leads. You're not creating your own sales leads. You're not going out and rubbing elbows with people. They're coming to you, and you take what you get, and you fund what you can get. So somehow she was constantly also the number one funded rep. She was getting the largest sums of funds, the largest amounts that would the loans would fund. She had the largest fund amount. She had the highest numbers every month, which is impossible, because you don't know what calls you're getting. You don't know how much you're going to get. You don't know if they're going to fund. You don't know if they have the good enough credit. You don't know if they're going to back out. You don't know if they're going to change their minds. But somehow she always did it. It turns out that this lady, or this girl, I call her a girl because she was a lot younger, her mother worked in the loan processing department. And they're doing something, well, Wells Fargo's known for doing illegal things, but they would always move this young lady's loans. They had to, I don't know this for a fact, but they had to have been moving her loans to the top of the stack so they would get funded, or her mother would hunt them out. Her mother would go in and pull them out of the stack, either digital or literal stack, and process them ahead of everybody else's. There's no other way they could have done it. And that's what happens in call centers. It's just filled with deceit. It's filled with just almost criminal-like activity. The way they treat you, the way they talk to you, the way they, there is no logic to a lot of what they do. It's very crooked. It's very hard to say what it is. But this young lady was the top sales rep month after month. I was there almost 4 years, and she was always the top. And there's no way to be the top unless you get, hundreds of thousands of loans to fund every month. And there's no way to do that because you have no control over what calls you're getting or how much they really want. You can talk them up, but to get it to fund, and the other thing was the pipeline. They call it the pipeline, where all the loans went. Okay, the pipeline was filled with, oh Jesus, lady, a stupid idiot in her BMW with a lapdog, her freaking little ankle biter, sitting in her lap, hanging out the window, and she's trying to pull out in front of me, and I got a green light. Anyway, I is intelligent, got my lapdog, my cigarettes. But the pipeline was filled with these loans, because this was just before the market crashed, the housing market crashed. So there were thousands and thousands and thousands of loans in the pipeline from all of us. We would each take like 80 calls a day. And you say if each of us got 40 legitimate loan applications. Okay, I wanted to do this again. My mathematics in my original video was a little bit off because my math ain't too good. I went to school in Ohio. So what I was saying is that we had 200 reps in this call center, 200 call center sales representatives. So you got 200, and let's say each of us took 40 decent loan applications a day. We took 80 calls, but out of those 80 calls, sometimes we get maybe 40 good applications, 40 good ones. So 200 times 40. So you got 200 times 40. That's 8,000 loan applications per day. That's just one day. Times 7 days. In 1 week, we take 56,000 loan applications. That's 1 week. Times 4 weeks. is 224,000 loan applications per month. So in one quarter, we got paid quarterly on our bonuses and our commissions. So times 3, that's 672,000 loan applications for just 200 call center reps. And somehow this young lady got to the top of the stack, got funded, everything funded for her, and she became the #1 loan representative every month. She was #1 every week. She was #1 every quarter. She was always #1. And so there's something suspicious going on there, if you ask me, don't you think? So that's almost 750,000 loan applications. Somehow she magically got to the top, hey? So she's got mommy over there in the loan processing department calling her up and saying, hey mommy, I just got a $100,000 loan app. Could you push that through for me, please? Hey mommy, I got another one for $75,000. If I can get up to $500,000, I get a big bonus and a commission this month. Ooh. So that's how it works. Believe it or not, you don't have to believe me, but I don't know this for a fact, but there was rumors. Aside from the fact that we think she was having a fling with Steven Seagal, the supervisor. When the supervisor looked like Steven Seagal. So, no, and I'm not being jealous, and no, I'm not being sexist, because statistically speaking, it's impossible for anybody in this environment where you're not generating your own leads and you have no control over what happens to the loan once it leaves your computer to the loan processing desk. It's impossible to succeed. So this isn't sexism. This is nepotism, and this is maybe sexual favoritism going on in the office. There you have it. Every call center I've been in has been crooked. There's been favoritism. There's nepotism. There's racism. There's any type of ism you can think of. This ism, that ism, isn't it the most? So to try to tell me that I've got to go back to work just to have a job, to sacrifice my health and my mind and my body, you're crazy. I can't do it. I just can't. And I won't do it. And none of you should do it either. There's got to be a better way. And I'm trying to find a better way, but unfortunately YouTube's taking my money away. So that one's gone for a while until I get 1,000 subscribers. I wasn't making a lot of money at it, but YouTube, man, you bit me right in the balls, and I'm still, my balls are still numb from the nibbling. So if you like my channel, subscribe, give me the thumbs up, the snooter. Have a good day. Bye.